Hello guys, welcome to the second part of this series of videos of review class, right? For the topics that we had to study for the midterm. You're here with me again, Mr. Merlos, and we are going to start right now. In the reporting questions, when we deal with them, we had to remember that we had two types. We have the yes-no questions and the information questions. When we change yes no questions from a quote to reported speech, we have to remember that we had to add in the reported speech the connector if. If the question uses the auxiliary do, does, or did, we have to omit that auxiliary in the reported form. And we change the tense to the tense that is indicated for the auxiliary. In the case, do and does change it to simple past and did changes to past perfect. So we have to be careful with that. In the case, right, we have the verb to be in the sentence. We have to check if the verb to be is in present. We change it to past, right? But if it's in the past, we have to change it to past perfect. Auxiliaries that are words like a modal that we move them from position, right, in the yes no question. In the reported speech, have to come back to normal order, the order of a normal sentence. Remember that if a question uses the subject you in the reported speech, you change it for the subject I. If the question uses other subject, we use the same subject in the reported form. In the case of the reported questions that takes the information word, like what, where, when, how long, how old, etc., that information word or question word doesn't disappear. We keep it and we use it as the connector in the reported sentence. So what we do is that if there are auxiliaries like do and did, they disappear, and we change them right to the tense that correspond to the verb that we are using in that sentence. Present, simple present to past, simple past to past perfect, and etc. So you can check more examples here. There is an exercise that you can make about changing right the question words into reported speech. So practice it and we're going to check it during the video conference. We have question words and also just no question. Then the next topic is inversion. Remember that for inversion, the key is trying to learn the negative adverbs. In formal English and literature, a negative adverb at the beginning of the sentence is an indicator. It indicates that there will be an inversion. So what we're doing, we're moving an auxiliary verb or a modal verb to a position that is before the subject of the sentence. But this doesn't make a question, right? It's not a question. When we use this form, we're not making a question. All the questions are inversion. But in the case of using a negative adverb, they are not questions, but the position and the use of the auxiliary is the same as if it were a question. When the sentence doesn't use a modal verb or an auxiliary verb, and we need to make the inversion, what we do is that we use the auxiliary that correspond to the tense of the verb. For example, in simple past, we use did, and in present simple, we use do. So that's how we had to make it. With other connectors that are also negative connectors, what we had to do is use a clause after the connector, but this clause introduces the clause, another clause, the one that has the inversion. For example, not until, not only after, and not since enter in that category. So we use a clause that has a subject and a verb. And this subject and this verb, they don't have inversion, they are normal. But the second subject that we have in the same sentence, this one will have the inversion. So if it's using a modal verb or an auxiliary verb that we can move to the beginning, so that's what we find after the first clause. But if it's using another verb that doesn't take an auxiliary, so we have to use the one that correspond as the questions in that tense. For example, simple past, so we have to use did. And if it's an auxiliary, we move it right before the subject. But this, to identify this, we had to check that only these connectors are the ones that take that form. And that we had to check that there is a subject and a verb that are normal. And after that, we find the next subject and the next verb inverted. That's how it works. Okay, these are going to be the points that you're going to check for this week, people. So please try to make this exercise so we can check it during the video conference and review about this important topic. Thank you very much for paying attention and hope to see you soon.